G'day guys, it's Sheldrake again from the Arma 2 community OzTac. Now in this part of the mission editing tutorials, I'm just going to go through units and the options you can have for the units in terms of placing them, and then going into triggers and putting that into a object. And for the purpose of this one, we're going to check if that object's alive and just make a quick mission off of that. So we'll just start off by placing down a player or a playable unit for us to play as. We'll just pop him up this road. And we'll just choose something like, a rifleman. Actually, we'll get something with a explosive. I believe it's him. Yep. Okay. So now, we can now place down the object that needs to be destroyed. Now first, sorry, I'll just explain this. Within this menu, you of course have your faction, your side available when you first place it down, and the class. Now this area here, control, if you plan on having a larger mission, say co-op with 10 players, you'll need to set the players as playable. That means that when they're in the lobby screen, you and your friends, you can then select those players. That's all that means. Info age, no, I don't really worry about that because I generally have co-op missions anyway. Vehicle lock, well that's when it comes to a vehicle, whether players can get in them or not. And Arma 3 has a setting here, vehicle lock for players, which means players can't get in them, but AI can. That's my understanding. Rank, that just can make up a group structure. That's an obvious one. Unit, we've used that. And special. So none means that they won't spawn in a special state, and they'll just spawn where you place them. Now flying is generally just for air vehicles, so they'll start off already in the air, and if it's a fixed wing, it'll start already at a certain speed. And in formation is the default one, so that's when you'll spawn in the formation that's selected. That's about it to that. So now we'll just place down whatever needs to be destroyed. For this, we'll place down an ammo cache. So they are under empty. Find ammo, and we'll just go to explosive stash. Okay. Now, for this to work properly, we need to give this cache or object a name. For these sorts of situations, I generally give them a name like T1 and T2, T3, etc. That just stands for target 1. I find that to be easy to remember. I also avoid using capitals, as it can become a bit complicated down the track if you start using caps in certain places. Anyway, we'll discuss that at a later stage. So that's called T1. It's an explosive stash, and you don't need to worry about these other options. So we'll spawn that. Now, we just need to select a trigger, which will check if the explosive stash has been destroyed. Now to do that, we don't need any of these options up here. So you can go exclamation mark alive T1. So what that is doing now is if T1 is not alive, so that's what the exclamation mark means. Exclamation marks pretty much mean not. And then in hint, we'll just have a short, on action, we'll just have a short message which will pop up in the top right of the screen, displaying a message to the player. So to do that, we go hint, cache destroyed for this one. Okay, now that is all there is to that one, so we'll just press enter and we'll test this one out. It's just glitched inside there, but that's alright. Get to a safe distance. Safety enough. And there you see, cache destroyed. So easy as that. Now, if we want to make this a little bit more complex, we can. Okay guys, so if we want to evolve from that just stage of just destroying one target, we can populate that area with some enemies. So in this case, I've altered the trigger to have a area of 50 meters over A and B. And I've placed the activation as independent and not present. So that means when independent and no longer present, that'll activate the trigger also. Now we've still got the first condition there, so that's when T1 is not alive. I've also added in and. So that just means and. So that's the first condition and this condition. So this is what relates to all these up here. So that means when this condition and this condition are met, on the activation, this hint will be displayed. Okay, so I've just altered that hint also to be relevant to what we're doing. So we're going to clear the area and destroy the cache. It's important to mention that you can set this to any object you like. It could be a vehicle, it could be a car, ammo, whatever you like. Okay, so now we'll just do that.
No whisper target found.
Okay, so now we're just going to test that out and see if it works. And there we go. So that is pretty much it for this part of the tutorial. You can make a whole mission just from this alone, as long as you get those conditions right and you make sure that you include all the ones that you need. In order to link these further together with with other objectives and triggers, I'll be just showing you how to do that in a later tutorial. So stick around and I hope you enjoyed. Cheers.